Hello everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I want to talk about the passing of Pastor Zachary Timms. And please know that I am entering this topic of discussion very cautiously. I understand that there are now 4 children that have lost their father. There's a large congregation of people that have lost their pastor. And so even though I didn't agree necessarily with his doctrine, I understand very well when people are mourning the loss of someone that they loved. And really what I want to point out about his passing is that it is a very sad thing, because this individual who was surrounded by thousands of followers and reached such a high standard of living, if you will, died alone in a hotel room. And you know, we're living in a time where we have all of these prophets, we have prophetesses, and we have all of these ministry people with all of these big titles and big congregations and big this and big that and big books and big deals, and yet this man dies alone in a hotel room. And I want to know, where were the prophets and the prophetesses that see all this stuff, all of this wonderful stuff that, you know, they see when they go to prophesy for us common folk, when they go to prophesy about how God is going to bless us and how God is going to do this, that, and the other, and what they see. I want to know who saw that this young man had issues. I want to know who saw that this young man was going to end up alone, dead in a hotel room. You know, they're reporting now that there's a possibility that, you know, drugs were involved, and you know, but really, even that's neither here nor there. He was supposed to be such a popular personality, and he was. So where were those who were supposed to surround him, you know, possibly in his trouble? I guess off prophesying cars and houses, and failed to use their gift to see that one of their own was having issues. And you know, another thing I really want to point out here, because I think this serves as a lesson to be learned, really, for the body of Christ. Because apparently, you know, there were issues not too long back of infidelity, and so apparently, you know, he had to step down from ministry for a short time, and then, relatively quickly was able to, resume the position of pastor again. And I'm not pointing a finger at him. I'm pointing the finger at the body of Christ, at those surrounding him, those who perhaps enabled him, those who perhaps, pushed him on and said, oh, it's okay. It's okay. You've got these issues and you've sat down for a few minutes. Now get back at it. Where were those with the wisdom and the knowledge, and who have, who were maybe more mature and older and wiser to say, you know what, my brother, I love you, but it's just not time yet. These things take a little bit longer to maybe sort out. And I'm not talking anything harsh about him, because of course we're all subject to fall. We're all subject to some sort of failure in our lives. But what good does it do us when we fall or we fail and we have no one around to hold us accountable? We have no one around that says, you know what? A little bit more work needs to be done before you step on, before you take your next step. Where's the true accountability? People get to a certain level, and I'm going to say, yes, it's a superficial level in our society, and I'm talking relating to the church world. It's a superficial level, but nevertheless, some get to these levels of, maybe having thousands and thousands in their church and thousands of followers, and maybe even thousands of viewers or what have you, and nobody's really gonna step up to them, because we're living in a time where we validate a large following as that must be from God. And I'm not saying that large followings aren't from God, but I am saying that because we are so starstruck, we sometimes can't see that they're just regular people too, with the same issues and difficulties and problems and struggles in life that we all have. So I really hope that this death is not in vain, that somehow we will be able to see that as a body of believers, accountability is important. As a body of believers, Jesus said in John 17, he was praying to the Father, and he says, I pray that they would be one even as we are one. And I'm wondering, was that true oneness in operation for him to end up alone in a hotel room and take his last breath? Was that oneness in operation? Well, like I said, where were all the prophets? Where were all the prophetesses? Where were all the bishops? Where were all those who understand the text and understand the things of God and the ways of God, and know how to tell you to get 7 steps to hearing God's voice, and know how to tell you to live in prosperity, and know how to tell you to make it to your next level? Where were those voices? Perhaps when this man needed to hear a voice and a word from the Lord the most, where was that voice? Where was that prophetic word? So I send my condolences out to his family, and yes, even to his congregation, because there's a loss for a lot of people. And I pray that we would take heed and listen and hear and see the bigger picture here. Thanks for tuning in.